Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Crowd Chair Podcast. And today we're gonna go back. We got a lot to do, so I'm not gonna take too much time of explaining what's going on here. I'm just gonna kind of get into it. So we're gonna start first, though, with some Major League Baseball. So I didn't really. I I apologize. I put out some stuff. I'm putting out stuff today. um, I kind of forgot to upload my stuff from March and April for the MLB. I did videos and then I never uploaded them, so I did just upload them today. I'm recording this on June 3rd. If I forget this, hopefully I can remember to upload this one. But if I forget, it is June 3rd. I'll probably upload them tonight though, because I'm not gonna do what I did the last time. So, obviously, I forgot to upload those. They are being uploaded right now. You can go and view them. They're a little old, but if you want to view them, go ahead. I just upload them because I have them and wanted to. But these are gonna be the more current ones because this is our review for the month of May. And after what we saw in April, and from March and April when I did the latest review, well, we've had a lot happen. Also, you guys are probably noticing that my audio here is very low, and that is because I have gone back to my PS4 earbud. I don't really have a headset, so my audio sucks. And when I do it on my simply off my laptop audio, it doesn't come through that well. And when I really do it on anything else, it doesn't come well. It comes through decently on my laptop, but there's also a huge echo, and I don't really want to deal with that. My audio stinks, but I don't have a headset right now, so I do need to buy one, and I will buy one at some point. I just have yet to do it. So eventually I'll get that, but as of right now, just hasn't happened yet. So let's get into this video though. Like I said, lots to do today, so I don't want to take too long with this. Let's get into the American League. We start in the AL East, and we go to the New York Yankees, sitting at 36 and 22. Much better month of May. Considering I go off my last video because, like I said, the last time I did this, I think was like May 6th, I think was when I did the last video. So I'm kind of just basing everything off of what has happened since then. Going into that day, the New York Yankees were sitting at we're sitting at 19 and 16. They're now sitting at 36 and 22. I would say they had a pretty darn good month. But this is a very good Yankees team. We expected a very good Yankees team, and that is what we're getting. So I don't think that's really too much of a surprise. Next, we have the Toronto Blue Jays. I'm kind of breezing through them because there's not much to really say. It's the Yankees. We know they're good. Toronto Blue Jays sitting at 31 and 28. Um, kind of not a little surprised by this one. I really was not expecting to see the Blue Jays with this much success. Um, because they just kind of underperformed for years now. And I really was not expecting to see too much from the Blue Jays this year. I thought maybe they'd have a solid year, but, they re-signed, they gave a huge extension to Vladdy Guerrero Jr., and I was wondering, okay, well, what are they really planning on doing? But all of a sudden, here they are. Solid record. I mean, overall, it's been a decent year. Yeah, sure, they're not, lighting the world on fire necessarily or anything, but won their last five. I mean, it's looking up for the Jays. I mean, they've been solid, so we'll see if they continue it. But hey, if you're a Blue Jays fan, you got to be pretty excited. You're 16 and 18. Couple, last month. Now you're 31-28. So you've been decent as of late. I mean, you've been solid. So I think for the Jays, you gotta be happy. Um, Certainly winning their last five is nice. Um, you gotta like it for Toronto. Tampa Bay, they always find a way to be right around here, right around 500. Don't understand how. 30 and 29 for Tampa Bay. They're pretty much right around 500 the last time I did this video, which was, like I said, May 6th. So, yeah, they're pretty much in the same exact place, a little bit better. Um, Tampa just is a very like middling team. I don't understand how they are even that good. I don't even know what they really have anymore. I mean, I know they have Shane McClanahan, but I think he's playing now. I don't know how good he's been, but I know he's back. Obviously, he has been a very good pitcher, but after I think it's Tommy John surgery, I don't know what he's been doing so far. Haven't paid too much attention to the Rays. Their stadium situation's kind of a mess, and maybe even the team itself. But this is a Tampa team that pretty much no matter what they have, they always seem to just be decent. Never bad, never like good, but just decent. They always find a way to just kind of float right around 500. And it's honestly, I don't understand how, but or Tampa just keeps finding a way. And then we have the two major disappointments of this division thus far. Starting with the team that I really thought would be competing with the Yankees right now for the division, and that's Boston. Now you look at a month ago, they were sitting dead at 500, a game and a half back. They're now 9 games behind New York. Now, yes, the Yankees went a whopping 17-6 since the last video, and Boston has gone a measly, let me see here, 11-15. So that's a huge difference. But really for Boston, you know, I think this team is just so much better than it really has shown thus far. They have a dynamite offense. The pitching, you have Garrett Crochet, you sign Walker Bueller, but just really not all the pieces are necessarily fitting yet. Now, it doesn't mean that later in the year they can't figure things out and really get going, but it's been tough sledding for Boston. And Alex Bregman also just ended up on the IL, which is another huge issue for him. One of their bigger signings of the off season, of course. And so you're without him. I really wonder how much longer Boston can kind of flounder around until it really just becomes an issue. Now, yeah, they're not too far out of the wild card spot, but man, they need to get something going. I don't know what necessarily needs to change for Boston, but well, actually, the pitching needs to be better for Boston. The pitching has been a disappointment, and the pitching has been very porous so far for the Red Sox. Um, so that really needs to be fixed. But really, I think this Boston team still has it. I mean, we'll see if something changes for the Red Sox, but I think if the pitching kind of rights the ship, watch out for the Red Sox. And I've said this all year. This is my one of my dark horse candidates in the American League, but obviously it hasn't really panned out thus far. But we'll see if that changes um, come a few more months. Then there's Baltimore. I really don't have an explanation for this one. 22-36 now. They were 13-20 in the last video. They've only gotten worse. 7-16 actually worse. I don't understand it. I knew that it would be a little rough on them without Corbin Burns and not having him around. But I figured they'd at least be able to find some pitching, and they'd still at least be able to somewhat score and get some pitching and be able to score runs. I mean, they were certainly able to do that, and they have just not looked good. They have been absolutely pummeled time in and time out. I really don't understand what's going wrong other than the pitching. The offense just does not look good either, though. So I don't know what necessarily needs to change for Baltimore, but it's been tough sledding for them. It looked like they're on the up, and now we're back to the bottom of the division, well in the bottom of the division, and not looking sharp. So, um, Baltimore fans, I'm sorry, and I don't really know what else to say. I don't get it. I'm very I am beyond flabbergasted by what I'm seeing from Baltimore right now. And I mean, we'll see if something maybe turns itself around and they pick it up or something. But as of right now, that really has not happened. So now we head to the AL Central. We're going to talk about my team. And yes, I'm smiling because holy crap, I was not expecting this. The Detroit Tigers. My goodness. Um, league leading 40 and 21. I am shocked. And I truly mean that. Listen, I thought the Tigers would be good this year. I did think the Tigers would have a good season. I wasn't expecting anything along these lines. This has been unreal what I have seen from Detroit. I mean, you've had dynamite pitching, you've had dynamite offense, you've had absolutely everything. And now take into equation because so far this year, the Tigers have been doing this with a lot of guys injured. They've had a decent amount of starters that have gone out during the season. Yes, Google and Flaherty have been healthy. Olson's on the IL right now. Jackson Job's on the IL right now. We also were missing Casey Mize, I think, at one point. Obviously, Alex Cobb has been out all year, but I don't really care about that one. I care about the other ones. Um, but you're missing all those guys in the pitching staff. And then there's the outfield woes for the Tigers because they had so many guys in the outfield that were all injured as well. Matt Vierling, I mean, he's on the IL again, but he was on the IL to start the year too. Matt Vierling, Riley, or not Riley Green, Matt Vierling, Parker Meadows, Wenzel Perez. Uh, I mean, you can count Akil Badu as well. We signed Manuel Margot, and then he ended up on the IL. I mean, just gobs upon gobs of even Rogers ended up in the IL at one point, but really the outfield was the biggest issue with so many guys out. Carpenter ended up playing in the right field corner with Riley Green. I'm sorry, Kerry Carpenter in the right, Riley Green in left. And then we had Javi Baez come out short to play center field, and shockingly, that actually worked. Never would have figured that. And now you look at the hitting stat, and now you look at the hitters for the Tigers. They're all healthy. No Matt Vierling still, but Meadows is back. Perez is back. Um, Badu it was back, but we sent him back to AAA probably. I guess. I think. I don't know. Doesn't even matter. But Perez, but Meadows both are back now. Everybody else is now healthy. And, even with Rogers back, we still have Dylan Diengler, and he's been awesome. So, we only need Rogers. You know, I want to be a realist because I don't want to be like one of those fans that just gets overconfident in their team and is like, yeah, we're gonna win the whole thing and all that. But I legitimately think that if this keeps up, if the Tigers keep doing this and they keep playing the way that they are, I don't doubt that they very much can win the whole thing. From what I'm seeing. Now, yes, we lost the first three games of the year and got swept by the Dodgers. I know. But if we keep this up and we keep playing the way that we are, I think we have a chance of beating anybody. And, again, like I said, that might sound a little homerish coming from a Tiger fan, but there's not a lot of teams doing what the Tigers are doing right now. And that's with a non healthy pitching staff. And like I said, most of the year until now, we have not been fully healthy. You have all your hitters back, and you're still missing and now you're missing two guys in your starting rotation, and you're still dominating. Kind of hard to argue with those results. So again, we'll see if it keeps up. But if it does, there's no doubt in my mind that Tigers can go pretty darn far. And not moving on. You don't want me to hear. You probably don't want to hear me talk about the Tigers literally all day. So now we have Cleveland sitting at 32 and 26. Good team. I mean, this is a really good division. And that's the other thing. This is a really good division. The Tigers are still leading everyone by a considerable margin. But Cleveland, solid team. I mean, this is a team you would yeah, they're doing what you would expect. They have the absolutely dynamite bullpen, which absolutely wreaked havoc on the Tigers in the lone series we had so far. Um, Bullpen has been outstanding for them once again. It's done what you would expect. Their hitting has really been Jose Ramirez, maybe Steven Kwan, and then a bunch of guys. It's kind of been limited in terms of hitting. And then the pitching staff is a bit hit or miss. You got starting pitching, that is not the bullpen. Bullpen might be the best in the league, but starting pitching maybe hit or miss. You got a guy here or there that maybe looks good, but maybe not the whole time. The starting pitching is a little bit shady. And then outside of Ramirez, Kwan, and maybe, another guy, the hitting's a little shady as well. But, this Cleveland team has found ways to win. And, it's not necessarily like their entire hitting lineup's terrible. Obviously Ramirez and Kwan probably lead the charge. But, there are other guys that are certainly capable of making plays, and they have done it all season. And Cleveland's really doing what they did last year. So, I mean, I'm not, you know, it's not necessary. This isn't what I was expecting kind of Cleveland to do this. They've done pretty much what I figured they would. So, not much of a surprise for me. Next, we have the Minnesota Twins. And they had quite the run. And I don't know how many wins was it? Was it 13 or was it 14? I can't remember. I don't remember how many wins it was in a row. Obviously, we looked at that. We reviewed them last month, and they were sitting at a whopping 15 and 20. Now we look at them, and they're 32 and 27. So yeah, pretty good month. But they also had that crazy long win streak, and I'm trying to remember how long it was. I think it was something close to like it might have been like 13, 14 games. It was quite the win streak, and it really put them back in the mix for the division. And they played, and they were playing significantly better, and they certainly got to a pretty good spot. Yep, 13 wins, and at that point they also had a bunch of shutouts in a row too. Yeah, so 13 straight wins until they finally took a loss. But this Twins team, that run, they got themselves back in the mix. They got themselves a pretty darn good record, and they've kind of just hung out there. Um, this is a team that also had, I mean, much like Cleveland, might be a little reversed. I think their starting pitching is better, and then the bullpen's the one that maybe is a little bit shady, but they got some good bullpen arms too. Uh, Twins are much like Cleveland, where they also kind of are a little shady in the hitting department as well. Um, Maybe not necessarily great, but the Twins have done very well in terms of pitching. I mean, this is very much like last year with Cleveland and Minnesota. I think these are almost essentially you're seeing kind of the same thing from these two teams. I don't think much has necessarily really changed. They look like they did last year. And Minnesota did the same thing last year. They had a very sluggish start. They did not look good. Then they had a long win streak, and then just kind of hung out there the rest of the year until the end of the year when they collapsed and we got to the playoffs. But Twins, yeah, not too shabby. You gotta be happy. If you're Minnesota, I think you'll certainly take what you are seeing right now. I mean, you're smack dab in the middle of the division. You're smack dab in the middle of the wild card race. You gotta be content with that. Then you have the Kansas City Royals, who are who. And I listen. I can't stand Cleveland. I'm not a big Minnesota fan. I can't stand Kansas City. But they really do remind me of like a couple years ago, the Detroit Tigers. Kansas City at 31 and 29. They were 20 and 16 last time we looked at them, so they've gone a little bit down. Big thing for the Royals is their offense is atrocious. They have Bobby Witt Jr. Um, and then essentially just pray for rain. I really, I mean that's a little harsh. They do have some other good hitters. I mean, outside Bobby Witt, there's Jonathan India. Um, they have that was it Pascantino or how it's pronounced, the first baseman. He's solid too. Um, and then there's really just not a ton of great hitting after that. Their next two guys have been there's two other guys who have been who have been solid for them, but their outfield's a mess. They called up prospect of theirs just recently, like Jack Caglione or whatever it is. I think it's a Florida guy. Um, hopefully they're hoping that obviously he could bring some offense to this team because it just has not existed. I think the Royals actually, as of right now, the only team that has scored less runs than Kansas City is the Colorado Rockies, and we'll get to them in the National League video. But that's a pretty bad low. That's a pretty bad bar. That you're the only team you're better at is the team that is currently 9-50, which is a pretty insane record in and of itself. The fact that they're 9-50. Again, we'll get to that um, National League video, but it has not been. It's been tough sledding on offense for the Royals. But you would think with that little runs that they have no wins, but they're above 500 because their pitching staff is among the best in baseball. Bullpen has been pretty solid. The starting rotation has been dynamite for them. I mean, they're missing Cole Reagans right now, but that Bubik, I think it's actually called Bubich guy, or I think it's pronounced Bubich, like Chris Bubich or whatever it is. I think that's what it is. He leads the MLB in ERA. I mean, he played us. He had a 1.45 ERA, which is absolutely insane. We gave him a loss too, which was also insane. um, but I think we gave him a loss. Yeah, because 1-0, and he was the only we were the only one. Yeah, he probably got the loss. And 1.45 ERA, and best in baseball. Then you got guys like Seth Lugo. I mentioned Cole Reagans. He's currently hurt right now. They also got Michael Waka, who hasn't been terrible for them. I mean, their starting rotation has been awesome for them, and the bullpen has certainly done its job as well. The only issue for Kansas City is they just have not been able to find any kind of offense whatsoever. They just can't score. I mean, the Tigers recently played them in this series, and we literally traded 1-0 games. They beat us 1-0, and then we beat them 1-0. I mean, that's kind of how it's been for Kansas City. And they played in a lot of close games. So I mean, they need some offense. We'll see if they can find it somewhere, but they certainly are looking for something on the offensive end. And then we got the Chicago White Sox. It's the White Sox. They're 18-42. This is not a good team. They're not really competing for anything. Obviously, they're just kind of trying to tank. Mostly playing a lot of young guys. Tigers beat the brakes off of them yesterday, but um, it's the White Sox. I don't think really anyone expects them to be that good this year or maybe even next year. It's going to be some time for Chicago, so we kind of expected it to be bad, and it's bad. It's just not historically bad like Colorado. So already improvement, I guess. And now we have our last division going to the NRAL West. Excuse me, sorry, I almost said NL West. Uh, to the AL West. And we have the Seattle Mariners still sitting atop of the division at 32-26. Good pitching staff. Hitting has mostly done its job. They're missing a lot of hitter or pitchers, I believe, on the IL, so they've given up a bit more runs than probably um, people would have expected. But when you're missing a lot of guys in the IL, what you gonna do? But it's a good Seattle team. They have been able to They've been able to get some hitting, get some runs on the board. They've also been able to, continue working with that bullpen. And their closer, was it Adrian Munoz, I believe? He has been outstanding. So, I mean, we'll see if that continues. But this is a good Seattle team. Very good offense. Very good in terms of pitching. Offensively is a bit everywhere, but the pitching has done its job, and the offense has been a step up this year. It has certainly improved. But if you're Seattle, gotta love what you're seeing. You're top of the division. That's all you can ask for. Houston Astros. They had quite. I mentioned in the last video, in the last time I did this, they had quite the overhaul of the team. So definitely some changes here for Houston. But they're chasing the division title at the moment, sitting at 32 and 27. Houston, I don't really know how good this team is going to be. They doesn't have. I don't think you're really going to expect um, much from Houston. I did not. I kind of thought they would flop a little bit. They. I don't think they necessarily have flopped, but I don't think. I think people were expecting Houston to win the division, and they're not winning the division right now. But it hasn't been a complete disaster for the Astros. They're certainly making progress. But I don't think this Houston team is as lethal as it once was. I think it's taken a step back. So we'll see if they can continue making a run at Seattle, or if the Mariners can hold on to that division lead. I've said before that this division, I believe, is very much wide open and that anybody can take it. I still firmly believe that. I still think it is anybody's division. Next, we have the Texas Rangers, who are almost a carbon copy of the Kansas City Royals. Sitting at 29 and 31. Shockingly, the offense for this team has been absolutely terrible. Their offense has been a disaster, and I don't really know how to explain that one to you. I really don't get it. Their offense, I think, is so much better than what it's done so far. But they haven't really shown that the offense has not clicked at all, and really, it's been the biggest hindrance of the Rangers this year. And in terms of pitching, much like the Royals, they're dominating. The starting pitching has been awesome with Jake DeGrom and everybody else. Bullpen has certainly done its job as well. It hasn't been terrible. So I mean, their pitching has certainly been great, but just the offense is lagging. And I don't, with Kansas City, I can see it, but with Texas, I don't get it. So we'll see if something changes for the Rangers. But right now, it's an offensive struggle bus, but you're only 4 games out of the division lead. So, even with the struggles, you're still right there. LA Angels, sitting at 27-32, 5.5 games out of first. This is not a good team, but they're only 5.5 games out, which kind of shows how wide open this division is. Um, Angels, they're not great. I mean, when they played the Tigers, I might have mentioned this in the last video, but when they played the Tigers, I'm reading all the names. I know Tim Anderson got designated for assignment not too long ago, so he's no longer with them. But I'm looking at a lot of these names of the Angels. I'm like, bro, this is literally just the has-beens. Like if you had a prior like history of being good, you're gonna be with the Angels. I mean, that's what they are. They're literally the LA has-beens. But um, this Angel team, I mean, Mike Trout is now healthy. He is now back, and I know he has been solid since coming back, or I think he's been really good. Anyway, he is back. So Angels, I'm sure, are happy about that. Um, but right now it's no, on a bit of the up for him. I mean, 13 and 20 in the last video, now 27 and 32. So, yeah, not too bad. Definitely made a little bit of some improvement. Gotta like it. And then I have this team, which, man, their absolute collapse in this month has been shocking. The Athletics. I don't know what to call them. Sacramento, Oakland, LA. I guess Sacramento, because that's where they are, but I guess they're just the Athletics. I don't know. The A's have had quite the collapse. Going into our previous video, they were 20-16. They were above 500. They were a game out of first place. Since then, they have gone 3-22. That is quite the drop off. And now you look at their run differential, they were at minus 21 the last time we had them. They're now minus 116. I mean, it has been a massive fall from grace. I mean, they're looking like they could be a viable team in our last video, and now all of a sudden it's like, oh, they're still the A's. Like, jeez, absolute monumental collapse from the Athletics. So we'll see if maybe they can turn some things around in June, but they're gonna want to forget the month of May. I know that's for sure. So that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Um, got the National League coming up, of course. I have yet to do that one. Um, yeah, another month of baseball down. We got a bunch more to go. Here we come. Until next video, guys. I'll see you then. Adios, everyone.